Well. How's it going, everybody? It's got some other things going on today. So I've bought a whole bunch of cool gear that I'm finally integrating. I don't know if it's perfect yet. So hopefully we've got some coolish sounds going on from this microphone here. More than coolish. I've even got a ring light, so that should make things a little bit sexier in here. And I've got a brand new camera that I'm super excited about, and cam links and all sorts of things that are needed to make some cool streams. So hopefully that's working, guys. Got 9 people following so far. Sounds class. Oh, cheers. Is that Killian? So that's awesome. And just let me know how it sounds, how it looks. I'm going to try some stuff out. I'm just going to be mucking around and might be teaching you some cool stuff, just a few little tips and tricks I've been learning lately off the students that I've been teaching. So and I'll be showing you guys some of those cool things that I've been learning about soloing. And plus I've been missing the Strat. I've just been playing so much acoustic guitar lately. So you know how it is. So I've just got a nice clean tone on, a bit bluesy, and I'm just feeling like being bluesy for a bit. So so bear with me. I'm going to just jam out for a bit, and hopefully this video is going to turn out all right. So I'll do my best, and I'll try and interact with you guys as much as possible. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Let's have a go. Okay, so I'm in the key of E right now. Here's my E. And I'm going to be playing some funky stuff just using that pentatonic, sexy old pentatonic. And I'll explain a little bit of the stuff that I'm doing while I'm doing that. And excuse this view, but this is probably the coolest way of doing it, because if I stand up, I tend to play a little bit better. Come back a bit, oh, you get a bit more of me. Hey, look at that. So I've got a cool Strat to start with. So I get that Fender tone, which I just adore, this Fender tone. And pretty much for the Fender, for the Strat, I love any tone that's not this one here. Any tone that's not this one at the very end, which is this pickup. I mean, it's okay. Good for rock and roll sort of, and I do use it, of course, but for the bluesy stuff, I tend to go either real Stevie Ray Vaughan sort of sounding, just sort of that sort of sound, or I'll just muck around with some of these tones in between. I should probably come over that way. It's probably a bit easier. And where I just go further down again, I quite like that too. Probably a bit too flashy the other side. Listen. And then even I like that one there as well. It's kind of country sounding, so sounds kind of cool there too. Sort of sounds like that a little bit, you know. Which I don't know what that tune is. I have no idea who does that, but so yeah. So this is some ideas for soloing. So let's just get into it. The coolest thing that I've found lately from my students is actually how to learn soloing, because everyone, I've been teaching the pentatonic scale usually in the A minor position, but we can do that anywhere, right? So if you're understanding where the the minor scale shape and how to use it for major and minor, which is the first thing, once you've done that, and we've got videos on that, and I explain how to do all that sort of stuff, is to make it sound like music. Because when we practice scale shapes, this is the big problem we come up with, and that is that let's say I'm going to go up to D here just for the sake of it, up to the D minor position. Hey, love, back at you, Ange. So cool. And you guys just comment, do whatever you want in the meantime. If you want to put a super chat, you can go in there, and I'll make sure I definitely respond to it. So that way I can pay for some of this equipment that I've got going. This is crazy. So what we've got here is the pentatonic scale. Now, when people practice a scale, the first thing everyone does is to go from top to bottom, which I've gone over in my videos before. Okay, so everyone gets really good at going over that, or that, and so when they play a solo, it's this sort of stuff, all right. But then we need to incorporate and some things like hammer-ons and pull-offs. Those sort of things, hammer-ons. But when we learn hammer-ons, the mistake we make is this. We do a hammer-on, and then we'll do solo. And then hammer-on. And then we go, and then a hammer-on. And that's how we sort of start, right? And this might sound familiar for you guys. So what I'm going to show you now is going to help you move from the transition of just learning a technique and learning a scale into actually going and playing and making it sound like music. And it's really super, super simple, okay? Now, this is what we're going to, and this is my face here, just in case you've forgotten who I am. And we're going to do a hammer-on, okay? So what we're going to do is a hammer-on. We're going to do this one on the, and for this case, doesn't really matter, but we'll do the 4th string, okay? We're in D minor right here. So this is my 10th fret. So I'm going to do a hammer-on. It's a hammer-on there. But straight after that, I'm going to play the note below, okay? This is the secret part. So if you do hammer-on and add a note below, or just any other note, it can be any note. As long as you're adding another note, that will actually create the habit of playing a technique followed by something else. So it blends the technique in with your playing, if that makes any sense. So if you were just to practice just doing that, getting really good at that, and then try putting it on another string. So I'm going to go to the string above that. So then on the 5th string, same idea, hammering on. So tab would be 10, 12, hammer on. And then underneath, I'm playing the string underneath, and I'm playing my first finger on the 10, on the 4th string. So hammer on. So 10, 12, hammer on, and another 10 underneath. So that idea is really cool. So when you're playing, you know, there's that little hammer on there. So that's kind of cool. Hey, Kevin, how you going, mate? From the UK? Who needs Brexit? Nice. So we're going hammering on. So hammering on with another note. That's the main part. So you can do it on the bottom 2 strings here. So if I did a hammer on the 2nd string, I could use my, by the way, you don't have to use the little finger. If you're more comfortable with your little 3rd finger, that's totally fine. And then play the note underneath. So you're getting good at playing a hammer on followed by another note, okay? And then we put that integrate into our playing. So you might be playing like there's a hammer on there, quite a fast one. See, there it is. There it is there. Instead of, which is kind of boring, pick, 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 same note, same note, same note, volume, volume. It's kind of boring, whereas you've got more flavor happening from the hammer on. And you've got fast, you've got slow, you've got long pause before we do quick hammer on, and a little flutter. All sorts of variations just in a hammer on. And I'm just using one scale shape here. Now that's going to absolutely transform your guys playing. So if I use that idea now, and I just use that one idea going to there, I'll just try and put it all over the place. Okay, so here we go. So here we go. I'll just do some other stuff. There it is. There's one. So there's 2 or 3 little riffy ideas. Obviously, I had a few other techniques going. you'll notice the thing that happens when you get the idea of adding a note after a technique like a hammer-on, that instantly you can flow onwards from that. So you can you can link them all together continuously. So I could go straight to another note, very simple, or I'm just, all I did there was a hammer. I'm on the 4th string. I'm hammering on, going to, that's if you love this riff and you want to do that riff, hammer on with the note underneath, and I'm adding the next note again in the scale shape, and I'm just doing vibrato on that. I'm going, and another one is going, instead of going to the high note, I'm coming back a note, so I'm going. Pretty simple. And I've obviously got vibrato and there's a lot of techniques going in there, guys, but just getting one and just real simple, like just getting that. Okay, and you can do that on each string. Okay, that's, or the flowing of the techniques can continue on even cooler than that. So watch this little idea here. So what was that? That sounded fast and kind of ridiculous to those guys that don't really play a lot of soloing, but it's actually pretty simple here, guys. All we're doing, I'm doing a hammer-on, followed by another hammer-on. Pretty simple, and then finishing off that idea we just did. Bring on the sexiness. I love that. So we're making it more sexy, aren't we? Because otherwise it's just scale shapes. And we learn scale shapes from top to bottom, and we play all the notes. And I totally get this. You've got to actually physically, I can sit down and chat with you guys. You've got to actually physically incorporate the soloing with the, the technique into the soloing. So you've got to practice this and just start with hammer-on. Start with one technique. All the techniques we can do the same principle to, okay? But we'll just do a little bit more on hammer-ons. So combining the hammer-on idea, it flows on. It's almost like we can just join them all together now. So if I wanted to, I've got a hammer-on, hammer-on. I'm still in D minor here, guys. 10th fret, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10. There was 3 hammer-ons. So now we can do some cool little flow-on ideas. Obviously that's fast, but when you get really good at it, initially it could be, that's still more interesting than, don't you think? Like this is not sexy. Unless it's a totally a thing you're wanting to do within a song, of course you could do that, but all day long that would be a bit boring. I remember sounding like this, guys, don't worry, I sounded like that too. And then hammering on now. How cool is that? That's actually not hard to do. And you could just keep going. I'm getting flashy there, guys, but I'm showing you how I can. I'm skipping strings now. So I'm just doing the same scale shape. Nothing has changed, okay? So all these little ideas are just so easy to do. But you just start with one idea. So the thing that everyone does is go, right, I'm going to learn hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides and bends today. And that's way too much. So just get good at learning the scale shape, and as you get better at it, excuse my voice. Yes, that's live. We're going to be adding on hammer-ons. So the next technique, I'm just going to show you one other way of applying this, and then we'll finish up and I'll get out of here, because this has just pretty much been a little exclusive little thing with you where I get to try out my new equipment. I've got like new camera, anyway, I'm pretty damn excited about it. So here we go. Slides. Let's use the same idea. So same scale shape, D minor. We're going to slide now. Now I'll show you how I'm going to slide here. We're going to start with the 5th string. So now there's a slide from here to here, right? But if I slide my first finger, I'm kind of out of shape now, aren't I? I'm in a different position. I'm into the next scale shape. And if we're only learning one scale shape and we're sticking with that rule of one scale shape and mastering it before we move on, we want to start with the third finger to do the slide. So my third finger is going to slide, sliding up to the note above. Okay, so just part within my scale shape. Now my hand is in position for the rest of the scale shape. So I can go. So once again, you notice before we started with the hammer on. Now we're doing it with a slide, same idea. Okay, and same with the next string. And I can do that fast. Vibrato. So there's another idea we can incorporate. And you notice there, didn't do the technique. Right, practice the technique, slide, which obviously you got to start somewhere. Don't know if you can hear that. There's a helicopter going past outside at the moment. It's been really hot here in New Zealand, and I've got the sliding door open, and it's what is it, almost 9 o'clock in the morning, to cool the place down. So there's a slide, right? And you can slide. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you incorporate another note after it immediately, straight away, it's a riff. You know, like. So you can see how that comes out, all those little riff ideas. I'm just doing some ticky-tocky, doing some funky stuff at the same time. It's a bit more advanced, but... So let's continue that idea. So now I'm going to add the slide and join it with a hammer-on, okay? So I'm going to slide that slide we did, hammer-on, and finish on the last note. So you've got a whole bunch of notes there that flow. So let's go from the 5th string. We're going to do slide from 10 to 12, hammer on underneath that, another 10 to 12, and then just the 10. And I just did a vibrato. And you get this. And hear the flow of that. Sounds really nice. And that's the beauty of two different techniques combined, like a slide and a hammer on. Now that slide, I could slide from way down the neck and just. So if I'm wanting to do that, I need to look here. So as I'm sliding, my hand's here, but I'm looking at this note because that's where I'm aiming at. This is where the important bit is. Try this out. My third finger's I want to hit it. Oopsie, I'm not looking at. I was looking at the screen, not the guitar. So I just proved myself completely right there. So that's what you're doing. Wherever you look, it'll go. Like if I look here now, and then you can carry on the technique. But if you just want to do within the scale, or then we can continue that on if we wanted to. You know what I mean? Or now, one of the things to add to this, guys, is key to life. That could possibly be my girlfriend saying, "Damn, you're a sexy minx." I don't know. Or maybe she's just a friend. Oh, that's it. Arguments after this. So we're going to do that same idea, sliding. Now you don't need to go to the string below. You could go to the string above. Like if I was playing down here, you know, sliding from here to here, which is I'm on the 3rd string. I'm sliding from 10 to 12, and I could go to the note above and play a note there. Nothing wrong with that. And a hammer on. So I could go there, or you see what I'm doing there, guys? I'm sliding up and adding another note. This is the whole trick to learning all of these techniques. So if you're just adding another note like that, it totally transforms your like scale shapes into music. Okay, let's finish off now, guys. We're going 19 minutes of absolute pure craziness. Hopefully it's sounding good, and hopefully it's looking good. Hopefully the settings are all sweet. So let me play you out with just some cool, fun, bluesy stuff within the key of, let's do E, because then I can use that open E string, okay? And I'm going to keep the funky style going, all right? So there we go. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Get in touch if you want a guitar lesson. I'm trying to end the stream while I'm talking to you guys, but we'll see you next time. You guys have been awesome.